Hey guys, today we are going to do another book review. I was given this book right here from Rockpool Publishing for the purposes of doing an honest review on it. So I'm going to do that. Right now I'm going to talk to you about what I read in here. I read the entire book, so I'm going to talk about what I read, what I thought, and how I think you'll be able to utilize it. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anybody and everybody who might like it too. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. Let me know if you read oracle cards, or if you want to. I would love to know. Also, please drop us a positive comment. I think I might have mentioned that. And what else do I want to know? Let me see. I want you guys to hit me up for a reading. Oh my God. I am a card shark and I love doing readings with tarot and oracle cards. So please hit me up. All my information is underneath this video, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's get started. Now, this book here, the Oracle Card Companion, Master the Art of Card Reading by Victoria Maxwell. Now, let me just say this, okay? This is not a bad book. It is not a bad book at all. But this is what my problem with this book is. If you're somebody who is looking to read cards, if you're somebody who's never read oracle cards before, maybe you have one but don't really use it, if you're a newbie, a beginner, something like that, this book is fantastic. It really is, because it covers everything that you would need to know. In the first part, it tells you how to use the book. They give you a history of divination. I really enjoyed the history of divination. It talked a lot about stuff that I did and did not know, so that part was cool. It told you how to journal with your oracle cards, and then they tell you how to prepare for readings. They have the card reading basics, guidance during readings, and advancing your practice. Last part is oracle card reading spreads, and there is 40 days to becoming an oracle. So if you're somebody who doesn't know anything, this is going to be very helpful, because all of this stuff is the stuff that people want to know. They want to know, how do you prepare for a reading? For example, it says here, how do you choose an oracle deck? How do you know which deck to get? I do a lot of deck reviews on this channel, so to help people with just that. It says here, how do I activate my deck? How do I cleanse my deck? How do I take care of my deck? How do I bond with my deck? How do I prepare a ritual space to do readings in? So this is all the stuff that a beginner will be asking for. How do I shuffle my cards? How do I ask questions? How do I tap into my clairvoyance, my claircognizance? You know, how do I do reversals? Reversals are a big thing in the community. I always use reversals. What happens when cards repeat themselves? So these are the kind of things that somebody would be definitely wondering about. How to do a daily reading, how to do shadow work. All of that is covered in here. And then, of course, spreads. If you're somebody who likes using spreads, spreads are awesome. Spreads are how you lay the cards out on the table. That can be really helpful. And if you use spreads, it can really make it easier to get the information you're trying to get from the cards. Likewise, the 40 days to becoming an oracle, it's like one activity a day for 40 days. So again, if you're a newbie, if you're a beginner, you go from day one, and every day you do something different. Let me tell you what you do on day one. On day one, you set an intention for what you want to gain from this 40-day practice. Then pick a card upright from your deck that symbolizes this. Leave it out somewhere you will see it for the rest of the day, or take a photo and make it your screensaver for the next 40 days. And I'll read you one more. Day two. Create a sacred space or altar in which to do your readings. See chapter 1 for ideas on how to do this. So as you can see, this is awesome for a beginner. It takes you step by step and then day by day for 40 days. By the time you finish with this book, you should be able to give decent oracle card readings, which is the whole purpose of writing a book like this. And look how thick it is. This is not no this isn't a little thin book. There's plenty of information in it. And like I said, I really love the history part because I'm a history person, and that's in the very beginning. So I think there's somebody who is getting into readings or wants to get into readings. If you read this book, you will absolutely know what to do and how to do it effectively. You know? But herein lies my problem with this book. If you are somebody like me, and this is why I was reading it. If you're somebody like me who's been reading since 1999, you've read all the books, you've read the book that comes with the cards. You know, I have in my collection about 500 different decks, tarot and oracle. And I do often read the guidebooks. So if you're somebody like me that's been doing this for a long time, or you've been reading guidebooks, all of the information in here you will have already come across. I didn't see anything in here except for the history part, because I did see some new stuff. But I didn't see anything in here I didn't already know. The history part did have some interesting things in it. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that happened. You know, I didn't know it happened then. Like, for example, the Kipper system. The Kipper is an oracle card system. And I didn't know how far back it was. I thought that was a fairly new invention. Come to find out, it goes way back, you know. So stuff like that I found to be interesting, and stuff I did not know. But everything else, I would say 95% of this book I already knew. It was a great refresher though, you know, and reminded me of some old practices that I might have forgot, or something I might be able to teach somebody else. But for the most part, I would have been disappointed if I bought this book for myself as somebody who's a professional reader. So if you are a professional reader, or if you're an OG reader, you know, somebody like that, then you're not going to get as much from this book. However, those of us who are OGs can use the spreads, because in chapter, I think it's 5. Yeah, I think it's 5. Here it is right here. There are so many cool spreads. It's a lot of them too. There's money manifestation spreads, prosperity spreads, which are always good, big dream spreads, past life spreads, chakra spreads. So if you want some cool spreads, it's about, oh my goodness, it's about 20, 30, 40, 50 pages here of spreads. So if you're somebody like me who loves spreads, but you're advanced, this is going to be your section. This is you right here. If you want more spreads, it's waxing moon spreads, new moon, full moon, astrology spreads. I mean, it's a lot of spreads in here. So if you're a spread person like me, I'm gonna use the book for the spreads, definitely, because some of them look very interesting and very creative. But that's the only part of the book that really I'm going to use as somebody who's been doing this for so long. So I recommend this book for beginners, because if you are someone who's been doing this for a while, you can buy a book of spreads and just have a book of spreads. You also can go to Google and type in tarot spreads, oracle spreads, and they'll come up pages and pages of them. So you don't necessarily need to buy a book like this to get spreads. You can get some for free right online. So that's my only criticism about this book, is that it's really not meant for somebody who, other than that part, in that history part, the other 95% of the book is really geared towards a newbie. So that's not a bad thing, because a lot of newbies need this kind of information, this kind of material. So if you're interested, if you're somebody who's trying to learn or just wants some information, I recommend this book. But if you're somebody who's already doing your thing, I would say you might not find it to be as useful as somebody who's brand spanking new, or been doing it for a year or so, or something like that, you know. Or if you're somebody who's stuck in your practice, let's say you have oracle decks but you can't make heads or tails of them, this book will help you, you know. So that's my only criticism about it. I like the book. I like the way it's written. I like the author too. I found her on Instagram. Here she is right here. That's her. I found her on Instagram because in the book it gave you like her Instagram information, and I like her. I like her personality. I also like the pictures. I meant to mention that this book has a lot of really cool pictures. A lot of them I think are of the author and things like that, but it's other pictures in here as well. Pictures of cards, pictures of how to journal, you know, stuff like that. So I like that too. I love pictures. Even though I don't, you know, you might not need them, you know, after a certain age, we don't really need picture books, but I like them. There's sections in here to keep notes as well. How to use crystals with your cards. I often put a little crystal with my cards to keep them charged and cleansed. So there is a lot going on in here, like I said, for somebody who really wants this knowledge. Okay? All right, guys. That was the end of my review. So you please let me know in the comment section, are you interested in this book? And if you've read it, I would love to know your thoughts on it. And please come back soon because I always have a lot to say. See you guys later.